Well, hello everybody. This is Sassy, and I have come here today to tell you that I am back in Seattle, Washington, and I have traveled a great distance to come back here. I want to know why it's okay for the Seattle Stranger to have their publications made available for free in newspaper bins on the sidewalk with pornography. That is illegal. Even MySpace does not allow the pictures that you can find in The Stranger on their site because anyone 13 and under are not supposed to be able to get a hold of pornography. But if you look in the back of The Stranger newspaper in Seattle, Washington, that they no longer even allow in jail cells, that it contains pornography and people prostituting. A homeless person cannot sit on the sidewalk, cannot even lean up against the Stranger's newspaper bin without being arrested. But The Stranger, which contains pornography that is illegal, is allowed to be anywhere. Do people want to know when did they vote it to be okay for the police to come to the aid of a business who calls them to say that there is a homeless person sitting, standing, or lying down in front of their establishment? We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, do establish justice. We put the government together not to prevent people from loitering, because without loitering, there is no next generation. In order to meet people, you either have to go to church or purchase something. And when you go to church, you have to purchase something there too. It's called church tax, and it's 10%. Because if you don't pay church tax, they will let you know you're not paying church tax. 10% does not exist. Paul said, "Give what you purpose in your heart, for God loves a cheerful giver." And the Lord himself said, "Give it all." Because it's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than a rich person to enter into the kingdom. Without loitering, we don't meet other people, and commerce ceases. No one walks around, no one stands around and talks. If you'll notice in all my videos of Seattle, there is nobody here. The city used to look like New York. There were lots and lots and lots of people walking all over the city, but now everybody's gone. Most of the homeless people are gone. Have you noticed in my videos of the homeless that I'm only catching 10 or 20 or 30 people? Other than that, there are no homeless people. When I first got here, when my daughter was 4 years old, and now she's 21, I went down to the courthouse to file for divorce from her father. And there were so many black people that my daughter, at 4 years old, said, "Mommy, are we in brown people land?" Where did the brown people go? Where did they go? Because they're not in Seattle anymore. They're gone. The homeless people are gone. All the people walking up and down the streets are gone. Where are they? Where are they? The buildings that are full of condominiums and apartments, maybe 6 apartments in the whole building are being rented. The rest are empty, and they're full of furniture and dishes. I wonder why that is. Wonder why? Because the United States of America is going to make Seattle, Washington, the new capital of the United States. The president is moving to Seattle. And you can say no, 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 no all day long. But it doesn't change the fact that they are coming here. Several years ago, I saw on a commercial, no, on the news, where the foundation of the White House is crumbling. They showed rocks falling in front of the camera. Recently, they showed the water in front of the Washington Monument. They said that when they made it, they didn't put in a filtration system. Why? Why? They knew the water would become stagnant. They knew there was no possible way for water to be in that structure for all these years and to not become dirty. They knew from the beginning that it would become dirty and poisonous. And now they have on the news that even the birds are dying. And they're not going to fix it because it would take millions and millions and millions of dollars. One more reason. Who do you think is flying the airplanes close to Washington, D.C.? It's not just anybody. Anybody can't just get past our military. You don't fly into a no-fly zone and not have 10 jets on your butt. But for some reason, they're getting away with it. That's because it's our own government doing it to scare the people. Who were the D.C. snipers? Who were they really? You can call me a conspiracy theorist all day long. But without the conspiracy theorists, we would never get to the truth. We would all stay blind, and things would happen. And then everybody would say, we didn't know, we didn't know. But I'm telling you, that Washington, D.C. is moving to Seattle, Washington. Soon, very soon. Martial law is going to be created. And if you don't understand martial law, then you're in for a big shock. Speaking of martial law and Katrina, ask those people what martial law is like. 2 helicopters to save all those people? I was in the military. That was a lie. I watched the news as they said that they couldn't get the helicopters close enough to get those people water. 5 days? A helicopter close enough with water took 5 days? That's ridiculous. The hot water tanks were full of water, first of all. Second of all, the only person that's responsible for that is the President of the United States, the number one, the chief of the military. Gets on the phone to the generals and says, we have a Category 5 hurricane coming in. If anybody goes without water, you're going to the brig. Then the generals get on the phone to the colonels, who get on the phone to the lieutenants, who get on the phone to the sergeants, who stand in front of the grunts. And they fill the C-131s, and the Chinooks, and the Blackhawks, and the Hueys with water. No one goes without ice and water. If people made it through Katrina, then helicopters can be tied down. And you cannot tell me that it takes 5 days to fly water into people, that they had to go so far away that it took 5 days to get back. President of the United States, George Bush, I, sassy, am blaming you, not Brown, for what happened in Katrina. Whether Brown declared state of emergency or not, you are still at fault. You had command of the entire military. You made people leave that area and said the water was toxic, while you let your people stay and take over New Orleans, while you let the military divide husbands and wives, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, and children who are still in orphanages today on different buses. And you didn't save those people. Today, in the communication mecca of the world, people still cannot find each other. You took their property.